got a drummer in here. I got a drummer in here to sit and talk to. So it's going to be more interesting for me. I like guitars, you know I do, but it's nice to have somebody in it. We've got Jason Oosthuizen here, who's probably one of the busiest drummers in Joburg in the country at this point in time.
I'm definitely a gear hoarder.
Almost welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got just over 60 snare drums, 18 kits, just over 100 Zildjians, and so it carries on. I can't say everything because, you know, my wife might watch the show.
So you've been working with the Marshall guys for many years, eh?
Yeah, so a very interesting story. I've been an international Zildjian endorsee now for 12 years. I used to be sponsored by Music Connection and Spawn Drums.
Right, I remember that.
And I moved over to Los Angeles. Spawn is based quite close by. I had gear there, moved back. Spawn had left the country in that time.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to sponsor me. So I had no gear. I didn't even have sticks by the time I got back here. And, you know, I was asking around and nobody was keen. And I thought, well, I'm going to take a gap. Emailed Dane Marshall and I said, can I maybe come meet with you? And he said, yeah, sure. So I met with him and Stuart. We sat there in the little lounge area. And like I was saying, nobody wanted to sponsor me because I was drinking and partying. And I was this Tasmanian devil, just destructing everywhere. Anyway, so we were sitting there and it's the first time I've met Dane. And I said to Dane, look, I've got no gears. Anyway, you can help me out. And I think he saw something in me that he liked. And Dane was like, you know what? Go downstairs, take whatever you need, and let me know whatever it is, and I'll just sign it off. So I kind of just made a commitment that day, and I was like, this was the only guy that was willing to go out on a limb. And we've literally become like really tight friends. He took a gap on me, and I've been as loyal to him. I've now got my own signature Vater drumstick out. I did the launch of my drums at his shop.
Marshall,
yeah, I also exclusively have only putting these drums in his shop.
Okay.
Just because he was the guy that took a chance on me when I got back.
Have you worked in wood before? Did you come from a background or anything?
Not
like
at
that?
all,
Did
eh?
You just started reading up on it and deciding what you were going to make?
I mean, just from collecting snares over the years and starting off with current stuff and moving into vintage stuff, I started kind of figuring out where people started and started moving along and where they were making mistakes and what I liked and what I didn't like.
They've made the mistakes for you already. You
Exactly.
know?
And then I met a guy just, you know, through the industry, and I was like, listen, man, I'm really keen to start doing my own drums. And he said, well, let's do it. And I think it was 2 days later, we were at his place starting to build the first prototype.
So how long have you been doing it now?
We're now in 5 months.
Oh, it's so early.
So it's still
well
very
done, because I've had a lot. I talk about it already, so it's obviously interesting for the people, because they're telling me. I get guys who come in here obviously know who you are and what you're doing, because they said, "Oh, Jason is building snare drums, great drums, and blah blah blah." So 5 months, I mean, a good snare drum is your best pal. I don't know a lot of drummers who have got 20 bass drums.
No.
But I know a lot of drummers who have got at least 10 snare drums, you know. I mean, so it's definitely the way to go. They're pretty, man. Whoa.
Yeah, I think they're really cool, and one of the cool things is that we make literally everything except the heads.
Yeah.
So there's some guys in this country that also make snare drums, but they buy the hardware from Gibraltar, or they buy this and they buy that.
That's the way it was, you know.
So I kind of think it's cooler if you want to say that you make something, then actually make it.
So these brass fittings, everything you've got here.
Yeah, so everything that you can see here is...
Which is fantastic, because I mean, brass fittings on a drum, I mean, it's class, you know. I mean, I've wondered... a lot of these older drums had brass fittings, but they were chromed, because that's the way it was. You know? Okay, that was not the molds, but a lot of the snare drums they were brass. You rub it, you'll find, or after years of using it, if you look, you see that it was brass. On it. So it's a proven way of doing it. Put it like that.
No, for sure, definitely.
But, I mean, this is devastating. You know, that's it.
I mean, it's probably just me, but I never really take my throw off ever.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I gotta have another drum there with it off.
Once it's on, I got my sound. That's how I play.
Yeah.
I don't play styles of music where I need 7 different snare sounds in one song.
Yeah.
So I kind of designed these throw-offs, and I'm a pretty hard hitter, and I do go through heads quite often throughout a show.
Okay.
Generally, my bottom heads go, which is just probably from that pure thing.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I hated was I would break a bottom head, and I'd give the snare to the tech, and he would always have a nightmare getting the snare back.
It's a finicky little thing.
Getting the strainer back to where I had it. So I designed this. Let me hope it's going to work now. So basically you just, as you can see it over here.
Just throw it off, you know.
So you just do that, and boom, you've got your snare off. Throw it back on again, and you just put it back to where you want it. And you know. Yeah, so it's kind of the small things.
But you're right, if you're only using one a tuning or one tone, you don't need all that other stuff.
Yeah, you don't need all that stuff, you know. So, boom, back, you know. So that's clever. That was kind of one of the only things I did, and then so we make the logos. The logos are also the air vents to the,
which is superb, you know.
To the drums. We make the hoops. A lot of wooden hoops also have a steel reinforcement.
Yeah, okay.
And we don't do that.
Okay.
So these are 100% wooden hoops. And you can definitely hear it. You can tune these drums extremely high, and there's none of that really overtone, that high ping that tends to come. And I think that's because there's no wood, no steel involved.
Yeah, and what's that you got there? It's not only the drums that you're now...
Well, I was going to hide it away, but, you know, now that you've seen it, I may as well show you, you know.
We've got to see these things.
So we've got these hide clutches. These are for the jazzy, soft players.
Oh, yeah,
and obviously for the grown-ups like us, we get to use the bigger ones.
Yeah. Whoa, dude, you're not getting this back. Check this out.
So it's brass, and it's got a rosewood inlay on the top piece. And it's got a bird's eye maple inlay in the bottom piece.
I see that, yeah. And what would you be selling something like this for? Just on the top of your head. You probably haven't priced them yet, but
to be honest,
what does something like this cost for the drummer out there?
I actually have no idea.
Is it?
I haven't...
All right, I'll give you $5.
Yeah, deal. Done. You can pay it off over 6 months. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So we got those, and then we got these beautiful bass drum beaters as well.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, this is artistic, man. But they're lovely, man. As I said, I was just, you use these, and I was always worried about nothing there to protect the head. But you change your heads a lot, and a lot of guys don't, and you're playing that.
Yeah.
You don't
I just find it gives a nice bit of attack.
Yeah, I mean, I used to use the DW1 for the rock stuff, and then the fluffy side for the more commercial stuff. You know, but you want the attack. See, it's harder to get the attack than it is to get the boom.
Exactly.
You know,
for
sure. But they're beautiful, man. I wouldn't want to play with it. I'd buy this and take it home and put it on the wall or something. You know, they're so pretty. I mean, and they mean business. Is that ebony in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's ebony and...
please, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And this?
Bird's eye.
Bird's eye.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not joking. I think you're onto something here as far as the overseas guys, because I do travel. And if I was in a shop in London and I saw some of this, I'd want to know what was going on here. So what's on the itinerary now? I know you're a busy man, and this must be taking up a lot of your time. But gig-wise, I know you're playing a lot, but what's the ones that you're looking forward to? Are you not allowed to say?
Oh no, I've somehow always got some really cool things going down.
No.
So I started a Led Zeppelin tribute.
I saw that advertised.
About a year ago.
We're talking about my hero too.
Yeah, and then I did a Guns N' Roses and Friends tribute.
Yeah.
And on this week, Thursday, I'm launching my AC/DC vs. Deep Purple show.
Okay, yeah,
so all three of those are playing every month.
Now, are you producing them yourself?
Yeah, so I do everything. Then I've decided to be completely ridiculous and write a full solo album where I played every instrument, wrote every song, and live I'm going to be the guitarist and frontman of this band.
Yeah.
So that album's finished.
Looking for a drummer?
So now I'm not going to be a drummer anymore, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, of course.
And then there's just a lot of other things
you're a busy man, and well done, because I mean it's nice to see a drummer up front for a change. As in up front, not just up front. I mean, you're doing it all. Well done, man.
Thanks.
On behalf of the boys here, keep going.
Thank you very much.
Keep
Thanks
going.
for having me.